Welcome back to Colonel Samuel Smith Park in Greater Toronto, Ontario, as we have our third place game between the Quebec Saints and the Toronto Dingos here at the AFL Canada Men's Club Championship, the inaugural tournament. Going for the bronze medal, as it were, here at this tournament. Not what they are looking for, but I'm sure they will be looking to salvage a little bit of pride here in this tournament. And we have Quebec versus Toronto matchup, always a bit of spice. Patrick, I think we're going to have a pretty good game here in this one.
Yeah, both of these teams obviously had title aspirations. They find themselves fighting for third, and added that storyline, I guess, on the Toronto side of things is if you were to consider this a bronze medal game, the idea that AFL Ontario would finish out of the medals if Quebec were to win this game is really quite something, but speaks to the high level of competition of footy around the country. And we've seen the teams kind of lay it out on the line. That seventh place game in particular was quite competitive. So I expect we're going to see a real doozy here today between the Dingos and the Saints as they play the final game of their season.
Absolutely. I always like to win your last game, whatever that game means. So both these teams are going to try to do that. In the hot October Toronto sun, it is cooking here in Toronto, approaching 27 degrees in October. And no, we are not in Florida. We are in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, Etobicoke to be exact. So we'll see how in these higher level games here in the finals, how that affects all these players. And the ball up to start this matchup. Quebec gets first touch, but it's the Dingos. No, they don't get the possession. Players all around the ball, and that will be a ball up.
Yeah, and fourth game of the weekend for these two teams, and Troy and I were talking about it in the earlier games. The fatigue starts to wear in, but certainly the desire is there to finish in a strong end. Dingos getting a free kick, play on, kick for goal, looks good, looks like it's got distance, and that is our first score of the game. It is a good one. First minute, and the Dingos strike first. It is a 6-0 lead. What a goal kick that was. And I said, first minute of the play, Dingos are off and running. 1-0-6, no score.
I believe that was 16, Matteo Lugarni, and he knows how to kick the ball. Not the first one he's kicked in this tournament. What a boot that was. It was a moonshot, and the Dingos get first blood very quickly in this one.
Yeah, Lugarini was great in that quote-unquote prelim final against the Atlantic Pirates, and he's a man on a mission here today as well in this later game as the Dingos in black and red, Saints in white and blue again. This is the third place game, a finals contest. I guess we can say our third finals game of the day. One more coming after this. Dingos in possession in the corridor. Saints will take it. That's Morgan White. He was exceptional in his club's first game as well, but giving up a free, Dingos will take possession.
Reminder that even in these finals games, it's 2 20-minute halves. So a lead early can be really important in these games. And as we talked about, fourth game in 2 days. So lots of sore bodies, I think, as we go in this one. Yeah. Quebec defending. Here is Jack Baker. Quebec tries to clear out of their defensive end of the ground. Kick along the wing. Try to pick it up. Ball being a little elusive for them, but there it is there. Chris Savoff had gotten it off. Another kick down the wing. Now it will be Laliberte, but now the Dingos pick it up. That was Hugh Morin. And it looks like it's a free. No, it's a ball up. So it'll be a ball up just in front of the eThereLIVE broadcast position.
Yeah, great opportunity for us to get a good look at things here, and ball will be forced out of play as that was Brett Wyborn didn't really get an opportunity to play that ball as the pressure was coming. Again, the Saints, white and blue, Dingos, black and red, we're going to get a ball up here. No real opportunity as ageless Morgan White there for the Saints. He's been so great this tournament. As the Dingos take possession, moving it through the corridor, kick to the forward 50, bit of a torp on that one, intercept mark. I believe that was Levia for the Saints. I believe commutes up from the United States for his games in the Montreal League. As the Saints takes possession, it's pushed up the left boundary, And no intercept mark there. Saints take it, play on along the left side into the forward 50. First time we've seen it near the goal square there for the Saints. Kick, and that looks good. And no, it did look good at first, but then it veered a little to the side. That was Jack Carey for the Saints, as we are going to get the first Quebec point. He's been good, but just the minor score there for Quebec.
Yeah, just the behind for the Saints, but they do get on the scoreboard, and they do get some time in the end of the field that they want. Dingos get a ball to midfield. Ball hits the turf. Quebec does gain possession. Attempted handball there to nobody. Dingos get the ball, and they get the ball down to their forward end. Can Matt Hastis get it? The ball bouncing. Quebec defending. The ball was on the ground and held, and I think this is going to be a ball up, but it's in the end that the Dingos want, so let's see if the Dingos can get the ball through the big sticks here.
Yeah, Dingos got off to a great start, and obviously they're looking to add to this here in the first 5 minutes of this contest. Again, the third-place game, Dingos and Saints. Ball up right in front of the sticks that the Dingos are kicking towards. They do get possession. Don't know if there was anything prior there as a tackle. Saints bringing the pressure, so it's going to end up being a free kick for the Dingos. And a bit of a sharp angle here, but makeable kick, I would think. 15:22-ish left in this first half, according to our unofficial clock. Boot through, and that looks really good. That is a goal for the Dingos. Great start, 2 goals in the first 5 minutes. They are off and running here in this third-place game.
Absolutely sure shooting there. Kicking right through the upright, through the posts. Really, you wouldn't have much of an angle there. So well done. Dingos get an 11-point lead. Good start for them. 5 minutes passed here in this first half. Again, 2 20-minute halves for all of these games in this tournament, including these finals games. This is the third-place game at the 2025 AFL Canada Men's Club Tournament. Ball up. Going the Saints' way, but the Dingos do get the ball. Here. Ball kind of bouncing between the teams, but now the Dingos get possession. Nice body work there by number 70, Aaron Stone. And that will be a mark and a free kick for the Saints. Kicks it to the wing, but the only player there was a Dingo. And it's going to come back. That is Ludovic Barat.
Yeah, intercept mark. And he kicked it along the left side, or right side, easy for me to say, and the Dingos keep possession. Ball kicked into forward 50. Dingos had it briefly, lost it. Saints regain. Ball takes an unusual bounce, as it does tend to do. Dingo player gets it back, comes back to the Saints. A lot of numbers to the contest there, a lot of congestion, and play just goes right on as the umpires let them sort it out. Jack Carey will take it for Quebec. He's had a strong tournament. He'll handball it on the right side to Corey Crawford. Comes back to Carey. Carey will work towards the right side, kicks it down the field. That is going to be marked by the Dingos. Intercept mark in the Quebec forward 50. And that's kicked to Dingo hands indirectly. Not a clean mark, but Dingos will keep possession. Feeling pressure, tries to switch the field to the right side. Ball goes up in the air, and friendly fire between the 2 Quebec players there. No one knew who to get the ball. No one called for it, I guess, and now the Dingos will end up getting it in transition. Ball comes up, and there's a mark just outside the forward 50 for Toronto.
Nice mark there by Matt Hastis. Gets a kick into the forward 50 for the Dingos, and a mark there. That's a nice running mark by Merrick Bergman. So Bergman's going to have a shot at goal here. 45-degree angle or so. Say no more than 15 meters from goal. So I'm a terrible judge of distance, so I have to admit. And that goes well wide and will be a behind there for the Dingos. They've certainly had to run a play, though. Saints are going to try to change that. On the kick out here is Aaron Stone. Long kick off of hands. Picked up was Chris Savoff. He gets it further down the line, but in Dingo hands. Long handball goes back to the Saints. A little bit of giveaway here. In the shade. Players may be going, I think we'll stay over here. It's nice, a little bit cooler over there. Anyway, there's a mark there in midfield for the Dingos, and they get control again.
Yeah, Dingos with the early control in this contest, leading 13-1, 2-goal margin at this juncture of the game as we're just getting past the 8-minute mark here in the first half. Ball kicked along the right side will be marked. Quebec trying to use the right boundary here. Ball marching up the field, high kick. That is not going to be marked. Dingos get it, and no time or space there as the ball will be awarded to the Saints as it's Chris Savoff, who has experience playing with the national program. He'll kick it for the forward 50. That is going to be marked. I think that was Manasseh reeling that in.
That's
get a look.
Pretty sure that's Manasseh.
Yeah,
he's been a factor in this tournament for sure.
Yeah, he was great earlier today for sure.
He is a tough opponent when he's going up for a mark. It seems like players just bounce off him. Pretty good kick too. See if he can make this one. This would be a big goal for the Saints if he can kick it. It looks a little bit right, and it stays the wrong side of the big post. So that'll be another behind for the Saints. That's Dingos, 2 goals, 1 behind, 13 points. The Saints, 2 behinds, 2 points.
Yeah, kick out for the Dingos. They try to take it out the other way as trying to take advantage of Quebec's inability to capitalize on that free kick. Ball goes up in the air, now bouncing along the ground opposite our broadcast location, other side of the field. Dingos take possession down the left side. It goes. Ball goes dribbling along that unpredictable footy bounce. Oh, favorable one for the Dingos. Chance for goal here. That looks like it could be something. No, it takes a strange carom, and the ball didn't know what it wanted to do. Ultimately, it settles on going on for a behind for the Dingos, so 2-2, 14, 0-2-2. And kick out here for the Saints following that Dingos goal. Kick up, and it's going to find a target in Laliberte. Now, ball on the ground. Saints battling for it. Levy is after it as contest goes to ground again. And I think that might end up in the hands of the umpire as we will get a ball up.
A ball up just, I believe, outside the 50-meter line there. Dingos looking for more. Saints are defending well, though. That kick goes right in the hands of number 6, Lachlan Barassa for the Dingos. Short kick, but it's too short. Handball. Now it's Tom Prosser with the kick. And that's a nice defensive mark there by the Saints. And let's see if they can clear. Handballs. Well, he gets tackled right away. That was 13, Tom Mead. I believe this will be a ball up in the end where Dingos won it.
Yeah, there wasn't any prior there, but a good tackle nonetheless. At least give you a 50-50 opportunity there out in front of the goal the Dingos are kicking towards. And there you see the pressure coming here, trying to move the ball forward. Saints on their heels here, so to speak, as a ball out in the forward 50 for the Dingos. Big intercept mark there, big opportunity for Justin Moore. Kicks looking for a mark closer to the goal, but it's going to be intercepted. I think that was Aaron Stone reeling that in for the Saints. And he'll kick the ball, tries to clear that 50-meter arc. Bit of a collision, ends up in Saints' hands again. That should clear towards the middle part of the field. Ball goes bouncing along, free for the taking. Putting on the speed button there is Jack Carey. He's been a really good player for Quebec this day. He'll boot the ball skyward. Who wants it? Where's it going to go? There's plenty of time for anybody to get to it because that ball had such elevation. Thought almost Carey was almost planning on kicking it to himself. Dingos now with possession, trying to clear it out of the Saints forward 50. Ball will come back to Baker. Baker kicks deep in towards that 50-meter arc. Hands are up. Ball will go bouncing along. And now the Dingos take it, trying to clear it out. And switch of the field. Dingos trying to clear it out of pressure, or clear it out of trouble, I should say, along the right side. Couple of good sequence of kicks. Going to look for another kick along that right there. No, he's going to switch to the middle of the field. Maybe a bit of a risky play, but it ends up paying off as Justin Moore's there to make the mark.
They'll have to clear from their defensive 50 here, or the Dingos, but succession of marks. Lachlan Barassa kicks it. Another mark. Handball. Here's some space for the Dingos. Kicks it along the wing. It finds grass, but finds the Dingos' hands as well. They're going forward. Nice smother there by the Saints. Lots of players around the ball. probably will be a ball up, and that is what it looks like it's going to be. At midfield, Dingos lead 14-2. Under 7 minutes left here in the first half.
Yeah, 2-goal difference with the Dingos in front. As ball kicked along the right boundary, Dingos take possession. They've had the better of the ball for sure, and that's reflected in the scoreboard. But still, anybody's game here, and we're coming up to past the 13-minute mark here of this first half. Ball kicked down the left boundary, up in the air it goes. Hands are up on both sides. Now the ball goes to ground, so that's where the contest is. As Dingos take possession, only briefly, and a tackle. I don't think there was much in the way of prior there. We'll see what the umpire says on this situation here. That is going to be the umpire's ball. Again, there wasn't any prior there, so ball will go up. We'll let the team settle it out in the air. As 6:02 left on our clock, and again, it is a approximation. Boundary throw in there. It comes out to Saints' hands. Kick along the right side, and that's going to be intercepted. It looks like that was Ludovic Barvat for the Dingos. As ball moved towards the middle of the field. Might be a Dingos player down. Somebody slowed it up. Play going on around him. Saints on the march now. Comes into the forward 54 Quebec. Here's a potential opportunity to kick for goal. This could be a big moment in the game for the Saints. Can't see that Dingos player that's down behind the play.
Looks like it's a cramp, which you wouldn't be surprised with the number of games they've played and the heat that they're playing in right now. Lots of sore bodies.
Get that, boy, some pickle juice.
Apparently, I've never really been a fan, but apparently some swear by it. But right now we have a free kick for the Saints. They're trying to get their first goal in this one. Would be a big one if they can get it. It would get them within a goal. The long kick. Nice one. Looks pretty straight. It looks dead straight. And that's a goal for the Saints. So that gets them to within a goal of the Dingos in this one. Less than 5 minutes left in the first half. Dingos 2 goals, 2 behinds, 14 points for the Saints. 1 goal, 2 behinds, 8 points. Patrick, that's what they needed.
Yeah, a big goal for the Saints for sure. They had to play the last few minutes, and they really needed to inch themselves closer as we're getting into the final 5 of this first half. And we expected a strong game, and there hasn't been a ton of space. There's been a lot of congestion. 2 teams that are working on bottling the others up, I can say, as we get to the ball up in the middle of the field. Comes to Saints' hands, kicked through the corridor on the ground. Ball remains in dispute, so to speak, as the Saints will pick it up. Take it to ground and see. I'll hear the players calling for high tackle. The players are always going to be campaigning for free kicks one way or another, and it is going to go to the Dingos and switch to the right side of the field. And ends up being a successful lead. Dingos now marching up the right side. Ball comes up. No clean mark there. Battle along the right boundary as Levia will try to get rid of it. The Dingos players hollering for the holding the ball call. And that is going to be a free kick to the Dingos on the holding the ball call.
Merrick Bergman with too far to score. He'll go midfield to the middle, and that's a nice mark by Armin Malakjani. Something like that. It is. It's not great when you're an announcer, though. Anyway, there's a defensive mark for the Saints, whose defense, you have to say, they've had a lot of work. They've bent but not broken. But how long can they do that? The Dingos have had a lot of opportunities, or maybe the Dingos will rue the fact that they didn't score more when they had the play. We'll see how this goes. Less than 3 minutes left here in the first half. We have boundary throw in. Dingos scoring end of the ground. It goes off hands. Saints get the kick. It's a high one. Oh, nice mark there by 62 Jack Carey. Carey's been a real force in this game for the Saints. Saints probably wish they had a few more of Jack Carey's around there. Oh, and there's Phil Manassa. He knows how to get. Oh, but it hits the post. So let's see. There's a call here. Is it coming back? No, it's a free kick to the Dingos. So there was a push in the back by Manassa. So the Dingos get a free kick. No, that was no point there.
Given.
Bradley Allen kicks it just towards the sticks. Dingos trying to defend. They do get possession and the ball, and that will be a mark for Harry Moore.
Yeah, Dingos, as you just said, off the hook there. As Manassi thought he had a chance for goal, then he thought he had it behind, but it ends up being no score at all. As the Dingos not afraid to risk switching through the middle of the field in the Saints forward 50, and it does end up working there as the ball comes up the left boundary. As Dingos marching up that side of the field into the final 90 seconds or so in this first half, but intercept mark. Here's an opportunity for Quebec to switch the field. Down the right side they go again. Quebec in white and blue. The Dingos in red and black. Ball goes down the wall. Play on for the Saints. Comes towards the goal. Will that be the bounce they're looking for? Looks like it is. That's a goal for the Saints. Tie game.
What a big goal that is for the Saints late here in the first half from the pocket. Wow, that's a big one for the Saints, and what a beautiful goal. We're all tied up here with the Dingos and the Saints. I think we expected this was going to be a battle. Again, Montreal, Toronto. There's always something special when those two cities go at it.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And it's dead even, 2-2-14, 2-2-14. And the Saints coming back in the latter part of this second half, and this setting up for a doozy of a second half. We might have time for another score as well in this first half, depending on what happens here. As the ball goes back to the middle, tap won by the Saints, but they don't do anything with it. It comes to the Dingos. Ball goes along the left side of the field. It's going to bounce slowly towards the boundary as we're in the final 20 seconds or so. And ball will go out as we're nearing the end of the first half. Again, our clock is unofficial, but should be pretty in sync with the actual clock. So don't know if we're going to have much time left to do anything here. And indeed not. So ends the first half. And as I said, dead even on the scoreboard.
Yeah, nothing between these two teams in the first half. The second half will be the determining factor for sure in this one, in this third place matchup between the Toronto Dingos. 2 goals, 2 behinds, 14 points. Quebec Saints, also 2 goals, 2 behinds, 14 points. We're going to step away. We'll be back after a brief break here at Colonel Samuel Smith Park, the 2025 AFL Canada Men's Club Championship.
Google Forms now accepts payments. The Payable Forms add-on allows for seamless integration of a digital checkout with your Google Forms. Install the Payable Forms add-on. Link your payment provider. Share and get paid. Your customers can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Cash App, Venmo, and more. Save time and hassle by automating your payment process quickly and simply. Payable Forms gets you paid.
Play for fun. Play for fitness. Play for glory. Play for community. Play for club. Play for country. Play for each other. Play because you love playing. Play footy. Visit AFLCanada.com and find a club near you today.
Welcome back to Colonel Samuel Smith Park, the AFL Canada Men's Club Championship 2025, the inaugural running of this tournament. We're about to have the second half of the third place game between the Quebec Saints and the Toronto Dingos. And that first half absolutely settled nothing. It is 2 goals, 2 behinds for both teams. It is 14 all. And Patrick, this is going to be a good second half, I would say.
Yeah, I would say, too, a really good first half. I thought the first half of the first half belonged to the Dingos, and then the Saints with a great response. Not much to choose from, if anything, between these two teams. You know, the fatigue setting in, game 4 of a weekend. These players have put a lot out there. They all had high expectations, and now they find themselves in this third-place game, but they want to finish this tournament on a winning end.
Yeah, but only one will. As there's 20 minutes to settle this one to see who gets the third place in this tournament. Quebec gets the first tap, but not really the control. Ball's on the ground, kicked off the ground towards Quebec Saints scoring end. That kick goes, it could go through. No, it goes just right, and it will be a behind for the Saints. They do get the lead, though, quickly in this one. 2 goals, 3 behinds, 15 points. The Dingos, 14 points.
Jack Carey doing Jack Carey things again. He's been so good for Quebec in this tournament. He gives them a key lead. Every point's going to be key in this game. Ball worked on the right boundary. Oh, speaking of key plays, big intercept mark there for the Saints. Oh, and it's given right back. One mark deserves another. James Talbot has it for the Dingos. Wiring that ball. Nobody can string together 2 marks. There's just too much pressure out there as both teams are not willing to give an inch. And, now you're starting to see the hostilities we talked about. Both of these teams want to finish this tournament on a winning note. They both want that third-place position. Ludovic Barvat will kick that on the right side, working the right boundary. Handball option executed well to Finn McGee as the Dingos work the right side of the field. As might have been a high tackle. Looked like it from here. We'll see what the official call is from the umpire. The umpire's a lot closer to that than I am, David.
Yeah, tackle without the ball, too, I believe. So it might have been a free kick 2 ways. But it's a free kick anyway for the Quebec Saints. Kicks down the wing. Off of hands, right in front of the AFL Canada logo. Kick down towards the Quebec Saints and just over the 50-meter line. Dingos defending hard now in the one spot of the ground really that has some shade. Will it find the line? It does, and that will be a boundary throw in the pocket of the Quebec Saints scoring end, who you have to say have had a good start here in the first 2 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, a 1-point lead, but they're merited for it for sure. And now they have an opportunity to charge through the forward 50 as the boundary throw in that part of the field. As the Saints try to push it forward, that's a skyward kick. Look way up. Where's that going to land? Of course, the longer it's up in the air, the more chance everyone's got to get to it. As ball's still bouncing around here. Here's an opportunity to kick for a goal right through. Listen to the roar of the Saints. They go marching in. Auguste Laliberte is giving them a 7-point lead early in the second half.
Great start here for the Saints. The goal's a lot better than a behind. They have one of each, but they have a 7-point lead. So more than a kick in this game. Still lots of time, over 17 minutes, but the Saints get first blood here and have the lead.
Yeah, they have to be thrilled with the first 3 minutes, and maybe for them it was just a matter of dodging that early pressure from the Dingos. And you talked earlier about maybe the Dingos ruining some of those missed opportunities. Still too early to say that, but that might end up being the case if the score holds along the lines of what we're seeing here. Ball goes back to center. Morgan White doing such a great job throughout this tournament for the Saints. Great pressure is sometimes it's not just winning the tap, it's what you do after it. Umpire says, my ball. So Saints won the tip. Rebels got the ball. Tackle, no prior, so we're back to square one again. As the ball dribbling along the ground, as Dingos will take it. Again, just so much pressure and congestion there in the corridor. It's kicked through towards the forward 50 for the Saints. Arms are up. Jamming away at it. There was Jack Carey. And let's see which player had that for the Dingos. I think that might end up being umpire's ball. It is. No prior there.
Well, it was offhand, so no mark, and no prior on the tackle. So
no anything.
No, it's a ball up. A battle for the ball. Manasseh gets the hand on it. There's a kick towards goal by Quebec, but defender has it. They're calling holding the ball is Quebec. Will they get the call? I think they will. And that will be another kick at goal if they do. And yes, taking the ball it'll be from a pretty tight angle. See if he'll do the kick around here. This is 62, Jack Carey. Who else?
He's been outstanding for the Saints, no doubt about that.
Quebec Saints wish they had about 10 of him, I think. Pretty good kick. We've seen that in this tournament. Kicking into the trees. In the shade. The run up. He kicks it. That looks pretty. Did he squeeze it through? I think they like it, and he does get the two arms going. So that's another goal for the Saints. So after a totally even first half, the Saints have taken control here in the second. 4 goals, 3 behinds, 27 points to the Dingos. 2 goals, 2 behinds, 14 points. 5 minutes in here in the second half.
Yeah, I have to say I'm a bit stunned by the start to the second half. It's been all in that Saints forward 50. They've allowed the Dingos virtually nothing. And Morgan White, again, very good on that center tap, but the Dingos try to get to it. Comes back to the Saints. August Laliberte, who has a goal in this second half. They'll kick it along, and there's a big tackle. Jack Carey once more for the Quebec Saints, just doing everything out there. And I don't know, is that a free kick? Did they say there was no prior? Yeah, look at that. Carey, a crafty play to play on. He's going to go right for goal. The torpedo up and through. What a star performance from Jack Carey.
As a former Montreal Expos announcer, up and away there. What a kick and what a goal. And what a second half here for the Saints. 5 goals, 3 behind, 33 points. The Dingos, 2 goals, 2 behind, 14 points. That, if my math is right, is a 19-point lead, which I don't think we saw coming early in the second half, Patrick.
No, not at all. And Jack Carey literally did everything. He had the tackle to earn the free kick, then had the savviness to play on right away, and just a beautiful kick to finish. Just an all-around great sequence for the Saints. So Carey in particular, in that particular situation. Saints get the ball again, ball working through the corridor. The Dingos just need to get some time in the forward 50. They've been scarcely there at all in the second half. Ball coming towards that 50-meter arc. And it's going to be intercepted, Saints players, and now it comes back to the Dingos as a Bergman had it briefly taken to ground.
What a chase and tackle there. That was nice. Wow. Number 17, Dustin Cowan with that. Beautiful job. Kick's not as good, though, and it goes in Dingo's hands to James Talbot.
Yeah, big intercept mark for Talbot. Kicks to a contest, but again, the Saints doing a good job getting numbers. Levia, international veteran, will kick it towards the middle. Morgan White, he's everywhere. Another guy who's a veteran of the national team. Ball kicked along the right side as might have whistle been blown behind the play, and as a result, a free kick's going to be given to Brett Wyburn. He's kind of favoring his neck there, but it looks like he's okay, which is good to see.
Talked to Morgan earlier, and he was saying the Saints are really motivated to win this game, and it's showing here in the second half.
Yeah, they're certainly playing like everything is on the line. Their last game of the season it'll be kick 4. They want to win third place for themselves, and as I said before, they'll put Ontario out of the medals if they win this game, which is not a result I don't think anybody would have predicted. As Dingos with a key intercept mark, I think that was Daniel Gunn. He's been a very good player for the Dingos in the tournament that I've seen, as he's backing up to assess his options. He's going to switch to the left side of the field. That's going to come to Justin Moore. He can't handle that cleanly. Look at that. There's 3 Saints all in his face. Smart play, though, to get rid of it. Short kick. I was wondering if they were going to not pay that, but they do pay it. As Sawyer Jenker will kick, and good kicks to a contest. Saints get numbers there. Ball's up in the air now. Handball option used by the Dingos. A lot of congestion again. We're seeing that benefits the Saints in this particular situation because they're the team in the lead right now. A lot of pressure. Just try to kick it into trouble towards the forward 50. There could be a break here as Lugarini is among the Dingos players out there. His ball's just bouncing everywhere. Where is it going to go? Saints player goes to ground. Almost looks like the Dingos are trying to soccer it there. Jepson will take a kick at it, and it looks like that's going to go for 1. It is a behind for the Dingos.
Not the score they're looking for, but certainly some good play there. Nice handballs. Get forward, don't get the goal, and it's still an 18-point lead for the Saints. 3 kicks in it. You'd say lots of time left with over 11 minutes, but that clock can run pretty quickly. Tough footy here between these two teams. They're certainly laying it all on the line. The last, as you say, last game of the year. Third place game here at the 2025 AFL Canada Men's Championship. Quebec Saints just chipping it around in the defensive. That kick doesn't go well, but they do get a nice handball away. Long kick down the line in the midfield. Off of hands. Dingos had possession briefly, but lots of players around the ball. Some possession here by the Quebec Saints. There's a handball. Lots of intercepted balls off of hands. It really is hard footy right now. There's not a lot of space for any of these players to play. particularly on the wings right now.
Yeah, no, both teams, I guess I don't want to say uglying it up, but making it difficult on the opponents, and that obviously benefits the Saints being the team that's in front right now, as they do have that 3-goal margin. We're nearing the halfway mark of this second half, so certainly time is their ally at the moment. As boundary throw in around the midpoint of the field. Ball goes bouncing. It will be ultimately Saints ball. And now we have a contest on the ground. Who wants it? Again, just seeing so many numbers for both teams there. Tough for anybody to just kind of take the game and run with it. Ball is punched over to the left. Dingos trying to work towards a forward 50 here. Everybody's got a paw out there punching the ball. It'll be punched along the wall, and then it'll be actually intercept mark for the Dingos. And kick to the left side of the field. Nobody there to pick it up. So ball on the ground. Wotan will pick it up. Handball, nothing there. Saints with numbers everywhere. Quebec charging forward. Tackle, but the ball was already disposed of. So the Saints able to march forward. Kick up high in the air. Don't think there's any option there as Bradley Allen was booting it, but that is going to be intercepted by Jason Preston of the Dingos.
He'll try to get it out of danger for the Dingos. Dingos need 3 goals here. Just over 9 minutes left here in the second half. That's a nice tackle. No prior. Won't be rewarded with a free kick. Ball up.
Yeah, that was August Laliberte. He's done a really good job for the Saints. He's had a couple of big plays, not just a goal, but proving to be valuable in other ways. As now battle for the ball. Dingos try to work through the corridor here. Again, they just need to spend some time in the forward 50. As, again, we're tied no prior, sort of like the buzzword at the moment, just because there's not really a lot of time and space as Baker was tackled there, as that was before he had a chance to do anything with it. So the umpire will say, the ball is mine.
Game is kind of slowed to a crawl, which really favors the Quebec Saints. The clock just running with all this pack of players, though that's a free kick to the Dingos, so this allows them to see if they can get some marks here and get it down the field. There is one. Holds it. This is Barat. Barat kicks it off of a teammate's hands. Quebec is able to defend. They do get the ball. Here is Laliberte. Hands it off. Kick that goes off of hands. Quebec looking for another one. You'd have to think they score the next goal. It will be really tough for the Dingos to get back into this one. But the Dingos are defending here. Ball is right in front of the sticks. Can the Saints gain control? Ball on the ground. Soccered off the ground by the Dingos. And that gets them out of danger for now. Can they get some flow? No, that's given away to Laliberte. He kicks it to the pocket, but it goes through the hands of Ronan Shaughnessy and over the line. That will be a boundary throw in the pocket.
Yeah, Ronan Shaughnessy, a veteran. He's done a lot of things for both Team Canada and Quebec Saints. Bounce didn't go quite his way on that particular occasion, as the throw-in will come way the Dingos as they need to try to clear this ball to the other side of the field. Ball goes up in the air again. So much congestion there, no one really able to do anything with it. As there's an opportunity for the Saints. Ball is all on the ground, and I think that's going to end up being rushed through. I think it looked like the Dingos were trying to rush it through. Were they able to concede that single? I can't quite see from my vantage point.
Tribal Sport, the official tournament partner of the 2025 Men's Club Championships. With more than 20 years of experience and a deep understanding of the international footy market, Tribal Sport is your source for high-quality on- and off-field apparel. Visit tribalsport.com.au to order your club's merchandise today.
Yeah, so no single awarded. Greg Bridges will throw it. Here's an opportunity for Jack Carey. Ball goes way up in the air. And that is another goal for the Saints. And once again, Jack Carey is the man putting it through the big sticks.
Yeah, he would have to be the best on ground for Quebec in this game, and that may be the Salter away here for...
my eyes are deceiving me, David. The Saints were celebrating as if there was a goal, but it appears not to be the case.
Figuring out what the call is here.
Umpire conference. This is an informal scorer's review.
No actual instant replay from that set. And that will be a behind for the Saints. So that's 5-4-34 for the Saints, 2-3-15 for the Dingos, 19-point lead. So that is an important point when you look at that's now more than 3 scores for the Dingos to get back into this one.
Yeah, especially with that little time left. It wasn't the result they wanted, but it is still a good result for the Saints. And they have moved it to a 4-score lead as the ball kicked into the forward 50. Carries after it again because, of course, he is. Ball's bouncing along the ground. As ball in contest, it will dribble its way out. And again, any time that melted off the clock is of benefit to the team wearing white and blue, that being the Quebec Saints, who are leading here in the final 5 minutes of the second half.
Less than 5 minutes here. The clock is not the friend of the Dingos right now. And the Saints doing a good job of killing some time, I think, as we go. That's not a mark. It's still in the forward 50 for the Saints. So that's a free kick to the Dingos. They really need a quick score here to get a shot in this game, I would say. That is not a great kick. Going towards the line, it goes over, will be a boundary throw in. Still in the Quebec Saints scoring end of the ground. We have just over 4 minutes left in this one.
Boundary throw in again. The Dingos need to get this in a hurry as the ball being kicked forward. And that goes into the trees. And those leaves are just starting to fall. Seen them take a little bit of a licking here throughout the day. And again, we said time is the enemy here. Under 4 to go according to our clock. And it's a 19-point advantage. So the Dingos are far, far away from where they need to be, both on the scoreboard and on the field.
That was out in the full, so they did have a free kick, but don't really take good advantage of it. And Quebec has possession again. I believe that's kicked between the posts. And I believe that is a goal for the Saints. They're sixth. And you have to say that really finishes off the Dingos with just over 3 minutes left in this third-place game. The Saints are going to be marching in for this one.
Yeah, marching their way to a third-place finish. Not the result they would have wanted heading into the tournament, but certainly what they were hoping for heading into this contest. And what a statement for them. And it was really Dingos carrying the play to start, but the Saints have kind of marched on. And we talked about it too, really showing the power balance around the country here with the teams coming into Ontario. For college football fans, this is as if an SEC team didn't make the Final Four in the BCS. As we have center clearance comes back to the Saints as we're into the final 3 minutes, it looks like here. As Saints trying to defend. Ball's kicked along the left side. It'll come back out along the left boundary. Comes back to Saints' hands. Kick towards the forward 50. Saints keeping the foot on the gas here, looking for more.
It's like Quebec would be familiar with tournaments of this sort. They have gone down to the U.S. Nationals several times, so wonder if that's been a bit of an advantage. Calgary also has done that many times and are in the grand final, so that could show that that has helped teams in this game. Some of the players for the Atlantic Pirates have also gone, I believe, both for Quebec and Calgary, so maybe that experience has helped these teams here in this tournament. First time that's been a Nationals Club Championship in Canada, but certainly that U.S. Nationals tournament has been going for a very long time.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. It's definitely a different format as the ball kicked forward. As the Toronto team's playing on their home field, but the 2 20-minute halves might be more familiar to the Saints. But the Dingos here trying to finish strong, if nothing else, trailing 40-15, final 2 minutes. Ball kicked forward as it's going to be booted up there by Morgan White, looking for a mark and not going to find it, but the Saints will keep possession at least as Jack Carey will kick it towards the goal, and that's going to go, it looks like he got a behind out of that. So he's able to produce one more point for the Saints. That'll bring them to 41. Dingos at 15.
Certainly a name we've said a lot in this game. Jack Carey, really a lot during the tournament, but particularly in this game, I think, been probably the best game. He's had a lot of good games, but probably the best of the tournament has been this one.
Yeah, a treat to watch unless you're a Toronto Dingo or a Toronto Dingo fan, perhaps.
Yeah, they've certainly not enjoyed watching him today. Free kick, though, here for the Dingos. Last minute here in this third-place game. Long kick. Again, our clock is unofficial. Ball going towards the boundary. Is kept in. Handball. Along the wing, there's a kick inbound, and that's a nice mark there by Brett Wyburn. There's another one. Saints now getting some space. maybe the Dingos have kind of take the hand off the gas pedal a little bit. Maybe not. Big tackle. And how will the umpire see it? Will be a free kick to the Dingos. But that horn should be going any second now.
Yeah, definitely impending. Dingos getting their last licks in figuratively and literally, but obviously not going to be enough. A great showing for the Quebec Saints. It was the Dingos that had the momentum to start, but it ends up Quebec 6-5-41, 2-3-15 over the Dingos. Quebec Saints well-merited, maybe perhaps avenging the defeat of their women in the Women's Plus match earlier, but yeah, full marks to the Saints for a win today.
Absolutely good contest, two disappointed teams, but really felt both came out hard. Boy, that first part of that second half, though, was the difference. The Quebec Saints, with 6 goals, 5 behinds, 41 points over the Dingos, 2 goals, 3 behinds, 15 points. We were talking at halftime about what would happen if it was tied, but there was no danger of that as the Saints roll over the Dingos in the second half of this third-place game. So the Quebec Saints gain third place in the 2025 AFL Canada Men's Club Championship, the inaugural running of this tournament. That was a great game, but upcoming is the main event, the grand final. It's East versus West. It's the Calgary Kangaroos versus the Atlantic Pirates. 2 undefeated teams. Who comes away with the trophy? And you should come back here to YouTube to see it. It's only approximately 10 minutes away. We'll be back for the grand final. Again, Calgary Kangaroos versus the Atlantic Pirates. Patrick, it's going to be a barn burner.
Yeah, you said it. 2 undefeated teams, both 3-0. I look forward to seeing someone's going to lose their first game, and both teams that I said before, I think both teams were expected to be strong, but there was that little bit of unknown where they don't play in traditional format. Both have more than delivered, and now they're each going to get the chance to land that final punch. Someone's going to be very disappointed, but someone's going to be very happy as well, and it should be a great game.
Absolutely. In the hot Toronto sun, we'll be back for that grand final here at the 2025 AFL Canada Men's Club Championship.